right, so we already know how to cue for a replay. Now let's turn it into making highlights. I'm going to cue to the beginning of the content that I want to keep. I'm marking in. And notice the light turns green. Then I'm going to go to the out point, and I'm going to mark an out. And that one turns green as well. Then I'm going to touch on my highlight page an empty spot of where I want that to go. And automatically a thumbnail is created. If I want to cue that highlight up, all I have to do is use the cue up button, and now it's cued. Use the T-bar, and I can do the replay. I can also do this on the fly. I can just mark an in as the content's being generated, and mark an out, and save it as a highlight. So that's one way of adding highlights to my highlight page. Another way is after I've marked an in and marked an out of my choosing, I can use this button right here, which is add highlight. And it automatically dropped it into the next spot. Another way to make a highlight is just by marking the in, and I'm not going to hit the out. I can go ahead and touch it where I want it to go. And based on what my configuration was set to, it will automatically set a predetermined length for that highlight. And notice that on my VGA screen as well, it's automatically following along as I'm creating these highlights. It's pretty simple. If I wanted to move a highlight, I just simply touch the highlight that I want to move, press move, it flashes, and then I can go ahead and give it a new location. If I wanted to copy that highlight as well, again, I can select the highlight that I want to copy, press copy, and then touch the location, and it will generate an identical highlight. If I cue up a highlight, I can select it, press cue up, and then if I want to change angles, I can do it right now, and go ahead and do the replay. And another option, which is really cool, under play option, is shift play option, and I can choose my auto cue up and turn that on, and then hit back. Now every time that I touch a highlight, it automatically cues that highlight up. Again, every time that I touch a different highlight, it'll cue it up. Another option in play option is the auto play. I'll hit back. And now every time I touch a highlight, it not only cues it up, it also plays it back. And I can change angles on the fly. And again, turning on my ME, I can change angles with a dissolve, hitting cue up. The DYNO system comes automatically with 5 bins when you first start it up. You can go ahead and label each bin. I do this to help me basically keep track of all my content. I'm going to go ahead and label this one first half. And enter. You can also use a keyboard. It's a great way to enter data. I'm going to label this one second half. Again, touching the bin name and then typing second half. And then to open the bin, just double tap. You can also move or copy highlights from one bin to another. So I'm going to move this one to second half. And now it went out of the first half bin and came over into the second half bin. I can also navigate through my bins using these arrows keys. Just like labeling a bin, you can label a highlight, obviously. So you touch the highlight that you want to label by getting the blue band around it, and then touch the name field. And here again, I get to enter my name. I'm going to use the keyboard in this case, and I'm going to label it Fast Break. This area here shows me the in, out, and duration of that highlight. If I touch it, it gives me some other information. I can go ahead and choose B as being my primary angle, which is also showing me here. Primary angle is the angle that I always want to show. It's my favorite of the 2 angles that I always want every time. I can go ahead and change this, that if I just wanted to look at all just the A angles, it would now show me all the A angle camera angles on my highlights, or B, and again, my primary angles. A lot of times when I'm working generating highlights or queuing up replays, things are happening in real time during the action that I want to make sure that I don't miss. So I'm going to utilize the mark key, and it's also another way to make highlights. There's a button right here that says add mark, and every time that I touch it, it actually makes a time of day time code stamp on the system. And then anytime that I want to queue that up, I go to my marks, and I find the one that I want by selecting it, and I hit queue up. And that takes me right to that time code. And now I can go ahead and find exactly that one item that I was looking for, mark it in, mark it out, and then place it in the highlight where I want it. If I have a highlight that I want to save and keep for quite a while, and maybe use it from one session to another, I'm going to put it in my library, and this is how I would do it. This is a default location on the drive that's going to go ahead and protect these clips, and I can use those in future sessions. And here's already 2 highlights that exist. I can go ahead and grab these. I can queue them up right from the library and roll them. Or I can go ahead and copy them right into my highlights. A really helpful thing is that I can use these in a playlist later. I don't even have to bring them into my highlights. I could actually bring it straight out of my library and put it in a playlist. So you're given a lot of tools to make highlights, and all of it is really simple.